Happy Friday, IHMC friends and family. It's Shayan with Integrity Home Mortgage, back with your weekly mortgage market commentary. Interest rates were a little better to start the week and are ending now on some weakness here today, but overall held to the new and improved range that we established at the beginning of the month. We got some comments from Fed members early in the week saying that they see 2 to 3 cuts this year as being appropriate, given the slowdown in labor markets. We had Treasury Secretary Bessent out there also voicing his concerns about a slowing economy, very publicly calling for the Fed to cut 150 to 175 basis points, beginning, interestingly, with a 50 basis point cut next month. There's definitely still some members of the FOMC that are leaning hawkish. They are against the cut because they don't want to take their eye off of inflation in what is, while weaker, still a very historically tight labor market. So there's a little bit of a tug of war going on. In one side, we've got the doves pointing at weaker jobs data. And on the other hand, we've got the hawks pointing at this week's bad inflation numbers, which continue to come in above target and are, frankly, moving in the wrong direction. Well, some of that is due to tariff impacts, which are beginning to reflect in the numbers. So markets are taking the bad numbers with a little bit of a grain of salt for now, at least. The thought here is that tariffs will be a one-time boost to prices, and that doesn't necessarily mean inflationary, right? Well, some might ask, well, how could this be? Doesn't high prices equal inflation? Well, no, not really, right? There's not an argument that tariffs will result in higher prices. That's going to happen, whether it's to the consumer or to the retailer or to the wholesaler or whoever it is. Tariffs will result in higher prices, and those prices will stay high until either tariffs go away or we find a lower means of producing those things domestically, lower cost means of producing those things domestically. Inflation doesn't consider the level of prices, but it rather considers the rate of change in those prices over time. So prices may go up as a result of inflation. They may even stay up, but tariffs won't cause prices to continue to increase over time. So they don't really need to be factored in when setting policy. This being said, we never did get to the 2% target, right? Not even before tariffs got introduced. So it's tough to argue that inflation is a thing of the past. And we have seen very recently, in fact, what can happen when rate cuts are done while inflation concerns remain, right? Let's not lose sight of the fact that the Fed has a lot of influence over short-term rates, but not so much when it comes to long-term rates like mortgages, right? Long-term rates are a reflection of where markets believe the economy is headed in the future. If investors believe that inflation is still a problem, they will demand higher returns, and long-term rates could go up even as the Fed is making those cuts. From September to December of last year, I'll remind you, the Fed cut rates by 100 basis points down. Over that same time, 10-year Treasury yields went up by 105 basis points. So while on a professional and a personal level, we would all love to see lower rates, when it comes to the Fed getting back into rate cutting mode, you got to be careful what you wish for because you might just get it. Moving on to next week, it's going to be a light week on new data, but it will include the Jackson Hole Economic Symposium. This is a meeting attended by many of the world's most powerful finance people and is a forum that Fed chairs in the past, including this one, have used to hint at major shifts in policy. So given the fact that we have less than a month left till the next Fed meeting, there's an increased potential for a comment or two to materially move markets. So beginning Wednesday, stay in tune with financial news and reach out to me if you've got any questions. That's all I got for you this week, and have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.